Jenny and Thom have come to make their marriage vows in the presence of God and this assembly. The uniting of this man and woman in heart, body, and mind is intended by God for their mutual joy. Let us now witness their promises to each other and surround them with our prayers. Jenny, living in the promise of God, joined to Christ in baptism, will you give yourself to Thom in love and faithfulness? Will you share your life with him in joy and in sorrow, in health and in sickness, for richer and for poorer, for better, for worse? And will you be faithful to him as long as you both shall live?
I will.
Thom, living in the promise of God, joined to Christ in baptism, will you give yourself to Jenny in love and faithfulness? Will you share your life with her in joy and in sorrow, in health and in sickness, for richer, for poorer, for better, for worse? And will you be faithful to her as long as you both shall live?
I will.
He that is blessed is himself a blessing. Let us wish that for each other and be that to all those for whom we work and for whom we care. That someone should be a blessing to others is the greatest thing of all, isn't it? Not just a helpmate or a companion and friend, but a blessing.
If I speak in the tongue of mortals and of angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. And now, faith, hope, and love abide, these three, and the greatest of these is love.
For now, the winter is past. The flowers appear on the earth, the time of singing has come, and the voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land. The fig tree puts forth its figs, and the vines are in blossom. They give forth fragrance. Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away.
In the presence of God in this community, I, Jenny, take you, Thom, to be my husband.
In the presence of God in this community, I, Thom, take you, Jenny, to be my wife.
To have and to hold from this day forward,
In joy and in sorrow, in plenty and in want,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
as long as we both shall live.
as long as we both shall live.
This is my solemn vow.
This is my solemn vow. And Jenny, I give you this ring as a sign of my love and faithfulness.
Thom, I give you this ring as a sign of my love and faithfulness.
Seeing how greatly God has loved us, let us pray for the whole world, for the natural world and the wonder it instills in us. Help us to be good stewards of this earth and protect it for future generations. For all those who are joined to us in love, for our families, friends, and neighbors. Gracious and faithful God, hear our prayer.
Thank you.
everyone. I'm Jenny's dad, Earl Euling, and Allison and I want to welcome you and thank you all for joining us to celebrate this beautiful day. As I was getting ready for today, I asked Jenny whether I was allowed to share anything in addition to these housekeeping notes. She said, sure, but Dad, just keep it short. After a while, people will just stop listening to you. Which got me to thinking, I wish she had shared this years before, all that lecturing of my children. Just think of the time it would have saved me. And Jenny and Carly and Abby. So I'll just keep a couple of stories. It's only 2 pages, Jenny, don't worry. Okay. So a few years ago, Jenny and I trained for the Philadelphia Marathon. And it was her first marathon, and a lot longer than the track races she ran in college. When the big day came, we ran together. And I was sharing my best dad encouragement. At 10 miles, come on, Jenny. At the half, you can do it. At 18 miles, let's keep it going. 25 miles, we're almost there. Until we reached the last half mile. And suddenly there was Jenny picking up the pace, looking back at me, falling further and further behind, and saying, come on, Dad, you can do it. Well, seeing her run off for me was the perfect race, because who doesn't want to see their daughter soar? And if you know Jenny, she's been doing a lot of soaring throughout her life. Yes, this is the same Jenny who won her middle school spelling bee, who sang in the choir, played in the band, took all those AP courses, swam, ran track and cross country in high school and college, and excelled in college and in graduate school. And as you've heard the story, it was while PhD candidate Jennifer Euling was at Cornell that she met Dr. Thomas Nelson. Thom, who is this great listener and supportive partner. Thom, who quickly became both a Phillies fan and a Wawa fan. And one thing we love to see is how Jenny and Thom have lots of fun together. Did anyone notice that they asked for 2 waffle makers in their registry? Allison said, why is that? And Jenny said, well, we want round waffles and we want square waffles. Makes perfect sense. Now, I can't pretend to understand the science these 2 doctors have mastered. I'll send Jenny articles about birds, and I'll send Thom articles about dogs. And they'll humor me by giving me a thumbs up. But it doesn't take a PhD to see that Jenny and Thom have that special something. And in Thom, Jenny has found her special someone. Allison and I are thrilled by the ways that Jenny and Thom love, care for, and support each other, and are so happy to have our families joined. So please raise your glass and join us in a toast to Jenny and Thom.
Well, on behalf of Thom's mom, Vicki, and her husband, Bruce, and my life partner, Jim, and myself, I offer this toast to Jenny and Thom. Have you ever wondered how marriage is similar to architecture? Well, I have. Vitruvius, an ancient Roman architect and philosopher, wrote that architecture should have 3 qualities: firmness, commodity, and delight. A work of architecture should be strong to protect those within. It should be functional and generous to enhance the lives of those that use it. And third, and maybe most important, its beauty should create delight. Jenny and Thom, may your marriage be strong and resilient to protect you. May your love be generous and gracious to enhance your lives and the lives of others. And third, may you delight in each other all your days. Let us raise our glasses to Thom and Jenny for their future. Skål!
Hi everyone. I'm Abby, the middle Euling sister, the one who's gluten-free.
And I'm Carly, the youngest Euling sister. I'm the tall one.
It's so wonderful sharing this day with all of you. We have a very special sister, as you all know, and we want to take a moment to share some of what makes Jenny special to us. Jenny has always taken her job as a big sister seriously. From a young age, Jenny made sure her sisters were taken care of. When I was born, Jenny kept me well fed by treating me to picnics with her puzzle pieces. And Jenny sometimes read to us when I got to have sleepovers on the floor of Jenny and Abby's bedroom. Jenny was actually so good at reading novels to us that I didn't see the point of learning how to read. Once Abby decided it was worth it to learn how to read, I was lucky to have two smart older sisters who went before me in school. Teachers knew who I was when I said I was a Yuling. Jenny was a senior when I was a freshman in high school. And as we all know, Jenny is super hardworking, which sometimes translated to little sleep and a cranky Jenny on the way to school. But at the same time, Jenny and I got to share something new together. I joined the cross-country team when Jenny was the captain, and it was so cool to have my big sister on the team. Although I wasn't a huge fan of the running part at first, bonus time with Jenny was worth it. When Jenny went to college, it was tough. This was the first time that the sisters three were separated. But she found ways to stay in touch, like keeping us informed on her Chicago life on Facebook. All right, so these are actual posts on my on my Facebook wall. All right, the first one. Hi, guess what? It's warmer in Chicago than it is in Orland right now. Whoa! I don't want to study for my Spanish midterm. Miss you, bye. And then another day. Hi, I just had a delicious milkshake at the Med. It had bananas, fudge, and pecans. And vanilla ice cream. Be jealous. And then the next day, well, today, I had a pineapple strawberry smoothie. Ha! I think that beats pretzel ice cream. As we got older, we connected in new ways. I was wondering how we would still stay close when we weren't living in the same house. But Jenny is great at finding times to talk, even if she's on a walk, and half of her words are drowned out by wind. She calls me to complain about Jordan Romano or Rafael Marchand or Taiwan Walker, or we switch things up and I call her to complain. For our average listener, these are Phillies players. And then there came a point where a new person became a regular conversation topic of our phone calls. When Jenny showed us Thom's Hinge profile, it looked promising, but what really put it over the edge was his dog, Willie. So, as you all know, or are learning at this point, ice cream is particularly important to Jenny. So when we learned that Thom had figured out how to stock Jenny's freezer with ice cream before she got back from a big trip, we knew their relationship was destined for greatness. But I really knew he was the one when I called Jenny and Thom was in the background re-watching a Phillies game that we went to. So it's been so exciting to watch Jenny and Thom's relationship grow. Thom is a very thoughtful and genuine person, and it's clear how he thinks about and cares for others. When asked for advice, you can see how sincerely Thom offers his support and guidance. Thom has been so supportive of Jenny through ups and downs. In the time that Jenny and Thom have been together, they have navigated field seasons, Jenny defending her dissertation, moving, new jobs, new cities, travels, and planning a wedding. We've watched them work together, understand each other, and complement each other. Jenny is an extrovert and Thom is an introvert. Jenny speaks quickly and Thom likes to think things over. There's many more things we would like to say, but just want to say lastly that Thom makes Jenny calm. We've never seen her more comfortable and at ease than when they're together. Thom, it's so special to have you in our lives and to see how happy you make Jenny. We've been the sisters three for a long time, but we're excited to have a brother. So, now we forget. All right. So with that, we'd like everyone to raise their glass and to Jenny and Thom.
It is such an honor to be here tonight as Thom's big sister. I was very touched that Thom asked me to be his best woman, person, because it is no secret that I think Thom is the best person. Thom, you have always been a fun, loyal, patient, and loving best person in my life. I know I often, when we were kids, tried to control the plans, decide itinerary for family trips, and successfully got you to dress up and choreograph the sisters' routine from White Christmas. Probably more than once, yeah. We could do it tonight, but I soon learned that you did not need me to tell you what to do. I am proud to say that you have always known who you are. Some of you may know, from age 3 to 4, Thom was Superman. Thom had a Superman cape made by godmother TK that he wore everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, he wore it everywhere, taking me to the bus stop or to the grocery store or to preschool. We got special permission, I heard, to wear it at preschool. So every day for about 2 years. My mom would know he was Superman at the time when he said, "Miss Lane, I will fly the car." Yeah. And of course, Thom knew from a young age that he was a scientist. And we learned this when we found the remnants of science experiments around the house. Tortured spiders under bowls, bugs and wasps in the freezer. But it was this sense of self that has always defined Thom. And this was never truer than when he met Jenny. So when we first started to hear about Jenny, Thom could not help but smile. Thom, you have found a partner who is equally strong and smart and kind. Jenny, I could not be more proud than to call you a sister and an aunt to Ellie and Maddie, wherever she is. And to Thom, I have watched you grow in from, just a second. Yeah, there's props. I have watched you grown from a tiny superhero to a real life one. Listen to the music, Thom. Thank you. So to Thom and Jenny, may your life be filled with discovery, love, and an epic adventure. Cheers.